Welcome back to Warped Reactions. I'm Connor,
I'm Kieran.
I'm Nathan.
I'm Reese.
and today we are doing a small little review on The Suicide Squad. So all four of us went and saw it in theaters last night. Me and Reese actually watched it once again each since then. I don't know about you guys. So we've both seen it twice
I'm planning
now.
on it.
Yeah,
Same.
we just
Probably a Monday.
I watched it with a couple of other friends on HBO Max online. So I've had some second viewing experience opinions along with that. So we're just gonna do like a short little review. It's gonna be completely spoiler filled, so if you haven't seen the movie, back away now. There's just too much we want to talk about without giving away details and stuff like that.
This movie you should definitely go in as blind as possible. So if you haven't seen it, turn off the video now. Why don't even click on the video? You know what you're getting into.
Non-spoiler.
Yeah.
I guess we should just jump right in to the first 5 minutes. Holy shit! James Gunn kills off so many people in such a short time. What is it? It's like Blackguard. It's TDK. It's that.
Javelin.
Orange
Javelin and manga.
Javelin.
Useless orange lady.
Captain Boomerang, which was a massive surprise to me because I really did think that he was going to be one of the ones that would survive at least until like the next couple acts.
Right.
And then Michael Rooker's character, I believe Savant.
Savant.
Just eats it.
Yeah.
Just eats it. Which I wasn't surprised.
I love when he just turns around and goes, just starts crying.
Because
and
at the beginning, he's like amateurs, and he's like, I gotta get out of here. It's like,
I was laughing so
really
hard.
great. It was really great is because the trailers really made it seem like they were going to be in it a lot longer, and in all the promotion, they didn't show like nearly any of the stuff that happened. But what's crazy is that like a lot of the team is either dead or separated for a good amount of time, and it's just really interesting to see that right from the beginning. You know, when he said "don't get too attached," I could not believe that's what he meant.
I just love the way they like dramatize all of it. Like it wasn't like, oh, they're just dead or whatever. Like they literally made it like look like you want them to die. It was so cool. Like the trees, like the wood,
on all their
dead
bodies.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, like revisited all the corpses.
Really cool. Yeah, there was an awesome montage. It was just and just like right from the beginning, it just felt James Gunn. Like right from the beginning, you could tell there was a style.
The music.
Oh my god,
makes it even better.
His soundtrack choices are always like just incredible. I mean, his camera work in this is fucking phenomenal.
Yeah, I want to go into that a little more, so I'm gonna say something.
The very beginning.
So, the camera work in this movie was like experimental almost. You could tell he was having fun with it. Like there were scenes where it felt like they had like a camera that was locked onto someone, and it would like pivot around their body and like all this like weird. It was something I've literally never seen in any movie.
Never
before.
seen exactly. Yeah, that's why it was fun too, because it was just like a whole masterpiece work of art that like is completely unique from other movies.
Seriously.
And
I love the text. Like when Savant's head blows up and it says 20th century.
That was so genius.
That was so cool.
Those transitions were just like that. I didn't even think of that.
It was split up like chapters. It was just like a comic book.
Yeah.
That was great. And I guess the next thing we should jump into is probably characters and just how he's. I mean, we're gonna keep going into the plot. You know, I don't want to go over the whole plot because it will take forever.
Right.
But
there wasn't
the characters. Oh, you go.
There wasn't a single character that I was like, oh, this person sucks. This person isn't interesting.
Right.
Besides maybe like the orange Mongol girl or whatever.
Well,
she was only here for like 5 minutes.
She's in it for 5 minutes. But like, Polka Dot Man was such a standout.
He was amazing.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know what they're gonna do with this, and then it was like, okay, that's cool.
I don't want to butcher his name, but David.
That's your mom.
It's like David.
I don't want to.
Yeah, look it up. It's like Delichian.
I don't want to mess it up because he was brilliant. I mean, I loved him in Ant-Man, and I loved him in this, and he's just so...
David Dastmalchian.
Oh, he's just so good. He's just so good. And
the Baba Yaga.
What got me, I was talking about it, I think, with someone I was talking to earlier. I didn't know anything about Polka Dot Man, and going into this, I always thought he was like a joke character. It's really fucking sad.
I didn't know.
It's a really sad character.
No, I looked up.
No,
I actually looked up the original comic origins, and James Gunn didn't go with that at all. He was pretty much the original one. It sounded like he was similar to Bloodsport. He had polka dots that were different gadgets. So maybe at some point in the script, it could have been that Polka Dot Man was the leading guy, and and James Gunn might have changed his looked for a different guy with gadgets.
I think the interdimensional virus was a lot cooler, and I really like the idea that he was like tortured and experimented on, and like he's sick, and that's why he has all these polka dots.
And everyone.
Oh, he totally murdered his mom. That's why he's in prison.
Yeah. Oh no, that's totally true. And my boy Idris.
He was amazing.
Bloodsport.
He was fantastic.
So good. He was everything that Deadshot should have been. Everything he should have been. Like it was so.
He was just like pretty close to flawless.
He was flawless. Like
honestly, he pretty much was. Yeah, I would agree with that.
His weapons and stuff were so much cooler than just guns.
Like he could take off.
He was just taking pieces of his armor and shooting it.
His mask just like went to like a small little like. It was so cool.
It was so cool.
He was way better than I thought he was gonna be. Speaking of that though, with Ratcatcher, she was the one I went into it and I was like, I'm not gonna care for her at all. Like I can't. I can just tell she's gonna be like the one character I don't care about. And then she ended up being like one of the best characters in the entire movie, like easily.
So good.
Every single member,
favorite.
Every single member of like the main team, they were all good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like when someone died, you're all actually like, oh dang, like it was like oh whatever.
Yeah.
One of the other surprises that I didn't think I was gonna care about this character at all, because I didn't think he was even an actor really. John Cena's Peacemaker might be one of the best things that I've ever.
Yeah, he was fantastic.
He
was so funny.
Was electrifying.
He was not only funny though. When he was revealed to be the like villain in that moment, he was scary. I mean, I was sitting.
That, he was funny.
Yeah, I know, but like in that one scene, I was just like, this dude is terrifying. Like, I would not want to be looking into the eyes of this guy when he's angry.
Because I've seen him.
Yeah.
I've seen him in other stuff, and like I don't know if he just didn't have his acting chops there yet, but in this he was just.
It wasn't like John Cena in the movie. This
was John.
Like,
this is
in other movies you can tell it's like it's just John Cena appearing in a movie.
He was Peacemaker. I can absolutely just say this guy is Peacemaker. Whatever version somebody tries to do, John Cena clearly he nailed this role. It's his, and I just couldn't believe that. I knew I was gonna love King Shark. After the trailers, I was like, "Oh, this guy's gonna be fucking."
I didn't think he was gonna be in it that much. No. I'm glad he was.
I thought he was gonna die, maybe in the middle or half.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Not longer than half. Yeah.
But him being a surviving member, I was really surprised. I had a prediction. I'm glad I was wrong because she was written so well. Thought Harley Quinn was gonna die.
I actually did too.
Yeah, I had a feeling.
It was one of my biggest predictions because of
she's been there for a while.
Yeah, but James Gunn, this is like a little known fact about me. I never cared about Harley Quinn in any of these movies. I mean, in the games and stuff and animation, she's great. I absolutely love her. But in just like the first Suicide Squad, I didn't care. I haven't seen Birds of Prey yet, but if she is as good as she was in this, I'm probably gonna check it out.
I think Margot Robbie is really good for Harley Quinn. I don't know. I think she really fits Harley Quinn.
I was on the same page as Kieran, where after the first Suicide Squad, I wasn't like I didn't understand the hype, and I haven't seen Birds of Prey either. But like he said, this movie like completely changed my mind.
Yeah.
Like she was like.
I'm just glad Joker wasn't in it. Oh my god.
Yeah. I was thinking he might have showed up.
That's one of the biggest things I have to talk about. I just have to say it. I am so happy that there was no shoehorned in Batman or Superman or Aquaman.
At the end, honestly.
It was so refreshing to have like a DC movie that was not afraid
depending on them.
Yeah, they did not depend on the fact that Superman gets one line and that's the end of anything that related. that's just great. It felt really self-contained, and I really appreciated that because it's kind of messy right now with the whole Snyder, not Snyder, the Flash, the Batman. It's all it's so much going
even
on.
with this movie, you don't need to it's like Marvel. When you watch a movie, you want to watch more or watch what happened before. This is like you could just watch it as a movie. It's
this could literally be its own series. This doesn't even need to be in any other universe. No. This can literally be the James Gunn, the Suicide Squad, Peacemaker universe. Like it doesn't have to be connected to anything.
I mean, we know Superman's a part of it.
I like how all these directors are going to other franchises to fix them.
I know. It's kind of nuts.
Star Wars.
And I know that Ayer and them are both friends, but like, I'm sorry, man. James Gunn just took everything. He completely.
I've seen.
I know there was studio interference, but like in the first one, I don't.
What's funny too, though,
it's crazy.
Is he took the villain in this one and almost like made a very similar villain from the first one and proved that you can make it work. Because the way that this villain was like mind controlling people with their like weird face mask, that's like literally the same thing as the first one. But he was like, no, you can make this work, and he did.
Yeah, Peter Capaldi was really good in it too.
He freaked me out, man. He wasn't.
Yeah,
he wasn't
it was actually
friendly
like scary.
Dude.
Yeah,
he was a great villain. It's creepy.
Yeah.
And I guess
gore too.
The gore in this is insane. I couldn't believe it.
I loved it.
It was like a perfect amount.
You were like,
I know. At the beginning, I was questioning like, is this rated R? And then the opening with Blackguard, and I was like, we're.
As soon as Blackguard got shot in the face, I was like, whoa.
His face is gone.
He pulled no punches. He was like, nothing's left in the imagination. If somebody gets stabbed, you're gonna see it. If somebody gets blown up, you're gonna see it. If some guy's dick gets shot off, you're gonna see it.
I didn't get grossed out at all until the end. The rats like eating the veins. That's what did
I get grossed out?
Harley Quinn going into the giant eye.
That was like satisfying for me. I don't know why.
Yeah,
like
that's fair.
Con, you're like, oh
no. Just the fact that like our eyes are so complex to see like what would actually happen if you did something like that. Because obviously I'm not like ooh. Like,
I think what grossed me out was when Harley Quinn took the guy's knife in the arm and just like kept slamming a door with a knife on it. I was like, oh my god, that's just so brutal. And I was
there were so many like physical comedy moments, like when Peacemaker walks by the sleeping guy and is just like whacking him with his axe.
yes.
I like when everybody's walking towards Starro and defecting, and then Polka Dot Man's like trailing behind like so awkwardly. I thought that was really
they had like every kind of joke you can have in a movie. Like when they just like murdered the whole like clan and then they're like, oh, those were our friends. That was so good.
Oh, it's so funny.
Watching it the second time, that scene is so much more like horrific because
they're all good guys
on that guy, and it's just some innocent dude that he just eats.
I know that was such a like fucked up twist that they weren't bad guys. It made you feel so bad. You're like all these people that were getting like blown up and shot and eaten. You're like and then you're like oh no,
guy got a fan dropped in his bathtub.
Oh god.
Was there anything that you guys like didn't necessarily like or you wish was different?
Didn't like.
Kieran, we'll start with you and then go to Nathan, then go to Reese.
Honestly, it's really hard to find one, which is really good because that's a good sign. I think the one issue I have, which has to do with the ending, I'm just not a huge fan of them trying to bring Peacemaker back after such a satisfying after such a satisfying death.
Yeah, it ruined the ending.
He killed Rick Flag, and then you see Peacemaker die, and you're like, yes, like that's awesome. And then you're like,
And the thing is now, if the TV show is a prequel, like I was predicting,
it's not.
Then no, I know it. No, it's not. It's not. I know that. But I'm saying if it was, okay, we'd have a character that would maybe be a little more likable. But now we're going into a TV show where we hate this guy because we know his motive. Him to die. Yeah, we want him to die
because he killed.
Like it's gonna be so much harder to. They're gonna have to redeem him.
Even if the post-credits scene was like him like on the ground and then like opening his eyes and like getting up, that would have been better than like him just perfectly fine in bed like that's dumb. If it was Weasel running around on the beach, that would have been better.
If that was just the only after credits, I would have been fine with that. I just think the fact killing off Rick Flag and then they're like, oh, the asshole's dead who did it, and then it's like, no, he's not, he's getting a TV show. It's like, well, that just took all of that satisfaction of Bloodsport killing.
Right.
But it's fine. I know they want to make this show, and I know James Gunn's really excited to do it because he fell in love with this character in John Cena clearly, and I'm really happy about that. I don't know, from my viewpoint, I just felt like it was really like, really, you couldn't just let us have this, like, I don't know, but it's fine. It doesn't ruin the movie for me.
No.
So I'm happy to say, like, there's really nothing I can complain about.
Mm-hmm.
I guess one thing, which is kind of a given with James Gunn movies, I wasn't a huge fan of the score that What's-His-Face did.
I don't know who even did the music.
I think John Murphy. I think that's his name.
Thought it was great.
Yeah,
I think I was just too focused on the songs. Maybe I got to re-listen to it, but I don't know. Maybe I was just...
That song with King Shark meeting those little jiggly fish things, that's been stuck in my head for some reason.
So weird.
I knew they were going to try to like...
I know. I totally thought about it. I was like, they're mimicking his body. They're too cute. And then once they opened up their teeth, I was like, oh, yeah, that's what I thought.
But
it was also... Oh, I was going to say, Starro finally being in something, because Starro's such a weird comic book. Yeah. He's a giant starfish who sends little versions of himself to make hive minds of himself. I mean, like, it's such a crazy thing to have in a comic book movie or movie in general. And he did it. And it was cool. And he was actually scary.
Yeah.
Like,
I was watching
really awesome.
So last night when I watched it the second time, I was watching this with two people who are not comic book people, superhero people at all. I was just like, we should just watch this. Like, I had a good time at the theater. I want to show it to you guys. And they were down. They're like, oh yeah, of course. But the whole movie, they were just like, what in the fuck are we watching? Like, and it made me realize, like, they loved it. But it made me realize how obscure this movie is. Like, this movie to the general audience is so weird. And he pulls it off. Like, it's a polka dot man, a giant shark, killing people brutally, and then fighting giant starfish who has armpits that shoot out other one. Like,
and yet
it's entertaining.
Like he's capped.
It's
such a weird.
It's such a weird movie, and yet it's
and that's
so
why
good.
James Gunn is such a good director, because Guardians was the same thing. He did it twice, and it was incredible. In this instance, he figured out this formula where taking characters you really don't care about, and you're like, oh, there's just these weird outcasts, and then you're crying because you see Ratcatcher's dad, and you're like, I'm gonna start bawling like a baby now. It's like there is no way it should be possible. But James Gunn, he's such a smart writer and he's such a smart director, and he knows how to make you like a character, and that I just cannot get over that.
Well, that's another thing I was going to say too. I feel like DC movies are a lot harder to make, like Marvel movies and stuff like that. I don't know. It's just, I don't know, very different. But
problem is it's just really hard to relate to DC characters because they're either super alien gods or billionaires or people who can go back in time, or it's like there's always some guy who's like, I have every power ever, but I somehow have issues. Bullshit. How do I relate to you? Like, that's my problem. But, I think that's why I really want to see James Gunn do more DC characters who might not necessarily be people's favorites. Like, if he could do a Superman movie and make Superman a really relatable, likable person, like in the old days, and with the Reeve stuff. I really
just
think
watch
that
Superman
it would.
and Lois.
I really should. I know you keep telling me to do that. I should. I really want to, but I don't know, man. James Gunn. I wish he was like the Kevin Feige of DC, because he really understands these characters.
The issue is though, DC doesn't have to be rated R. Like if Justice League, I don't think a Justice League would work rated R. Overall, I love this movie. I'd give it like if I could, I'd give it like a 4.25, but on the Letterboxd I give it a 4.5. But I would say that I still like Guardians of the Galaxy 1 from a James Gunn standpoint better than this.
Of course.
But that's just my personal opinion. I know a lot of people like this better.
That viewing experience for the first time in IMAX seeing Guardians I will literally never forget that.
Yeah,
same. That was that changed everything to me. Like completely. And I think that's just, it goes to show you James Gunn is just, he is one of my favorite directors.